Good evening, Internet. It's the amazing Flec here. If you're new to this channel, I'm currently on break at work during a 16-hour shift using a treadmill. I'm recording on my GoPRO Hero 7 Black Edition. Welcome to another edition of Treadmill Truths, Reflections with Flec, Mobile Mondays, am I right? Or whatever you want to call this treadmill business. So I'm pretty excited about this GoPro. It worked out really well the other day while I was using it in the backyard during a snowstorm on the slackline. However, I had to dial down the quality at which I was recording at. It was recording at, I think, 2.8 or 2.4K when I should probably be recording at 1080p because my computer is very old. I guess it still feels new to me, but I think when it gets up to about 8 years old, it probably is a little bit behind the technological curve. So I had to use Handbrake, a handy program that could convert video files from one type to another of various quality, and that enabled me to be able to put it into a format I was able to edit. But it took some time. It took quite a bit of time, in fact. I'm learning a lot about all of this stuff with video, quality, hardware, software, all the technology, all at once. I'm really hoping this video turns out because on my screen here it looks pretty dark. This is interesting. I'm using my phone to be able to control the GoPro while it sits on this little tripod with bendy legs. I'm noticing a lot more of my friends being depressed or upset or not feeling well or feeling isolated or feeling like no one cares or overall negative. I suppose that's to be expected given the state of the world today. Also with winter being here. I've brought it up before with social media. It's a double-edged sword for sure. I know one thing that always seems to help me when I'm feeling down is getting up. Getting up and get moving and do something. Get up and get moving. Get the blood flowing. Get your heart rate up. Breathe more oxygen. It can really help. Making a list of lists is always good. Make a list of everything you want to accomplish and then just start going at it. Maybe it's a good idea to start with something that's easy, just so you can strike something off the list. Every time I can strike something off of my to-do list, I feel a lot better about getting some progress done for that day. Even if it's a small task, even if it's something as simple as doing the dishes or cleaning your toilet or cleaning out the bathtub or emptying out Lucy's litter box if you have a Lucy, or just making your bed like that Navy SEAL gave a speech on that got famous and went viral. It was a good speech. A game I like to play with myself is I like to take things that I have to do and make them into something that I like to do. There was a book that I read a while back called The Miracle of Mindfulness by Thich Nhat Hanh. I hope I didn't slaughter his name too bad, but he's a very interesting fellow. He's a Zen Buddhist monk, I think Vietnamese, and he has a way with words, most definitely. And in this book he talked about doing the dishes, and to do the dishes for the sake of doing the dishes, not to get that tea or the reward after doing the dishes, but to really involve your whole self in the process of doing the dishes. You're washing the cup for the sake of washing the cup. You're not washing the cup because you're trying to finish the dishes so you can do the other thing afterwards. You're washing the cup because the cup needs to be washed, and that's why you're doing it. It sounds kind of strange, but I find myself doing this sort of stuff often, or even with brushing my teeth. I'll be brushing my teeth, and I'll be thinking about the thing I have to do after I'm done with brushing my teeth, rather than the actual process. And sometimes I find myself just holding the toothbrush in my mouth while I'm trying to do something else in the restroom, and it makes no sense. The teeth aren't brushing themselves. It reminds me of what my dentist friend told me one time. Only brush the ones you want to keep. It's pretty true. Brushing your teeth. It looks like a lot of folks, at least when I see other people brushing their teeth, and I find myself doing this too, is that they're brushing really hard and they're almost brushing with the back of the brush rather than the tips of the bristles like you're supposed to. You're supposed to massage around the gum line and make sure you get nice full coverage. Use the tips of the bristles to brush your teeth. But sometimes I find myself in a rush, brushing really hard as if that's going to make it cleaner. You're using twice as much energy to do half the amount of the desired outcome. I don't know what I'm getting at with that one, but something to think about, I guess. But to do a task for the sake of doing it instead of doing it because you're trying to get to somewhere else after that, I think there's a lot to be said about that mentality. If you're going to be doing something, it's worth doing it right the first time. So if you rush through the dishes, you might have not have cleaned off that pan the best way and now it's still greasy. Or you brush your teeth really, really fast in a rush, and then you realize later on that you didn't get your back of your molars properly the way you needed to. The point is that in this book that Thich Nhat Hanh wrote called The Miracle of Mindfulness, what I really liked about it was it changed my mentality about doing the dishes. I think he argued that if you do dishes for the sake of doing the dishes, you'll discover that it's quite an enjoyable experience. If you think about it, I think he's right. I mean, if you're into that. So you fill up a basin with some hot soapy water and you put dishes in there that have been scraped off and you start wiping them down. And you take the time to put your hand inside each bowl or each cup or clean off each piece of silverware. And if you really kind of immerse yourself in the whole task of doing this, it's kind of enjoyable. It's nice warm water for your hands, and you just lose yourself in each dish, in the shape of each dish,